In the context of public service leadership, we experience the qualitative difference in the performance of civil servants. Some are excellent, while others are average or below average, and many a times counterproductive. It is a great concern for the government of India. The difference in the performance of civil servant is due to the difference in their fundamental qualities and competencies, though they all receive same professional skills and competencies through training and work almost in the similar environment with same rules and regulations and with same resources. We experience that only few persons achieve excellence but others do not. There are generally two common belief or general perception on why only few people are great achievers in their life. The first perception is that high achiever are different persons by birth. That means they are born with some kind of innate talent and their innate talent determine their success or high performance. The second common belief is that people who achieve great success in their lives are very hardworking or they work smart. Their hard work or smart work differentiate them from others and is the basis for their success or high performance. In last 20 years, a lot of research work is done to understand the human performance. The latest research in brain science and learning sciences clearly established that innate talent of a person does not determine his success or high performance, but his deliberate efforts towards his learning and development. Because human brain is a self-organized system of neural networks and synoptical patterns. The neural networks and synoptical patterns define our capabilities and intelligence. Therefore, they determine our actions and behaviors and thus our identity, that is they define an individual. Since our neural networks and synoptical patterns in brain are the result of our learning and experiences, every single individual is different due to his neural networks and synoptical patterns of brain. However, the neural networks and synoptical patterns of brain change with new knowledge and new experiences, and this is called the neuroplasticity of brain. It means our brain is more like a plastic which changes its networks and patterns with new knowledge and experiences. Therefore, all the capabilities and intelligence can be acquired through deliberate efforts of learning and development, and there is no such thing as innate talent. The real life experiences also explain the same thing, that persons are not different on the basis of their innate talent. The second common belief for high performance is that high achievers are better in working hard or they do smart work. Though hard work or smart work is an important factor for achieving excellence or high performance, but it is not the determinant for excellence. In real life, we generally experience that many a persons around us are hardworking and they work smart too, but they do not achieve excellence or high performance. Therefore, hard work or smart work is not the determinant nor the most crucial factor to decide the performance of a person. Hence, a pertinent question arises: what determines the high performance of or a professional excellence of a person in his respective field? As today's world is characterized by materialistic interest and dominated by financial value, it is the fundamental qualities and competencies that determine a person's outstanding performance or professional excellence in his respective field. The fundamental qualities and competencies are the result of person's learning and development over a period of time. The fundamental qualities and competencies shape a person's intellectual identity. The fundamental qualities and competencies that determine a person's high performance are: first, right attitude. That is, it is the positive attitudes of a person in his respective field. The second is higher order skills. That is, a person's well developed higher order cognitive functions in brain. And third is person's deeper understanding of real world experiences. In other words, his worldview that is based on broad horizons and profound mind. These three fundamental qualities and competencies, that is right attitude, higher order skills, and his depth of understanding of the real world experiences, shape a person's intellectual identity. A person's intellectual identity is a reflection of his intelligence, capabilities, beliefs, attitudes, and understanding, and his worldview. His intellectual identity defines him, that is who he is. Who he is not in the context of spirituality, but it defines him in his intelligence, capabilities, attitudes, and beliefs, which determines his actions and behaviors. In short, his intellectual identity defines his action and behaviors, thus his performance, and it is itself shaped by the fundamental qualities and competencies. Now let us understand the fundamental qualities and competencies, that is right attitudes, higher order skills, and deep understanding of the real world experiences in a greater detail. The first fundamental quality and competency is right attitudes. A person's belief, feelings, interest and inclination, preferences, and discovery of the broader meaning of his personal interest construct his attitude. A person's attitudes determine the valuability of something in his brain. What will be the valuable for someone and what will not be is determined by person's attitudes. And as people differ in their attitudes, the difference in the valuability of something for different people. The valuability of something is the most important criteria for our brain to focus on that task or work. And our full mental energy or attention is automatically focused on that thing or work without effort. The effortless focus or in focus is the most important or crucial factor that is responsible for achieving high performance or professional excellence in any field, because focus or attention is responsible for all form of learning and development. It is the main gateway through which learning happens in brain. However, the development of our positive attitude toward any field or right attitudes begins with our personal interest or inclination but culminates with the discovery of why those personal interests are relevant to our life, the lives of others, and the world at large. That is, with the discovery of broader meaning of our personal interest. In the scenario, the task or the work for which we have positive attitudes itself become a reward for our brain, and our full mental energy is focused on that work to create excellence. Therefore, right attitudes is the intrinsic motivation for a person, and it determines person's disposition to work and motivate them for lifelong learning, and as a result high performance or excellence is bound to happen. We see many examples of professional excellence in our society, be it medical field, public service, legal field, sports, or any other field. People achieve excellence due to their right attitudes or positive attitudes toward their respective field. Their positive attitude determines their dispositions for their respective fields and motivate them for lifelong learning to create excellence. The next most important fundamental quality and competency is higher order skills. Higher order skills are the core intellectual competencies. They determine a person's quality of thinking and thought process and develop his intellectual traits. These skills are very crucial for the outstanding performance or intended result in the complex, dynamic, and challenging environment of the 21st century, and therefore they are recognized as leading 21st century skills. After all, the quality of everything we do is determined by the quality of our thinking. Higher order skills are crucial for higher order cognitive functions such as quality decision making, understanding the root cause of any problem, and finding creative and reasonable solutions, forward looking planning, strategic use of resources, responsible leadership, collaborate constructively and communicate effectively, etc. Therefore, these skills are fundamental to real world complex problem solving, leadership in any field, entrepreneurship, and to achieve expertise of any field. Let us have a look on real life examples to understand the importance of higher order skills for achieving excellence or high performance. In court, to present effective and valid argument, lawyers are needed to equip with higher order skills, and also for the judges to make a decision or judgment. They need to understand all the crucial aspects of the case, and also they should understand the larger implications and far reaching impact of their judgment. For this, only the knowledge of law is not a sufficient condition. Lawyer and judges are needed who have higher order skills to establish the rule of law for all the people. Recently, we saw the success of our foreign policy at the time of Ukraine crisis. It is the best example of higher order skills. The government of India followed independent foreign policy while balancing between the two superpowers, and at the same time, the government of India safeguarded its nation interest and increased its world influence. The government of India's stand on Ukraine crisis was admirable. It not only safeguarded nation interest and increased our world influence, but also our relation with both superpowers become even more stronger. The stand of the government was well thought and considered, taking into account all the aspects of the crisis in such a volatile and challenging situation. Higher order skills enable us to deal with such complex and challenging situations. While on the other hand, in case of three Krishi bills or farmer bills that were passed in 2020, the government had to roll them back. Though the intentions of the government was good, that is to increase the income of farmer, but the government could not get the intended result of the bill, rather much outcry and social unrest. The situation arises due to the lack of clear and well thought approach to deal with farmers' problems and related political aspects and our people's emotions attached to the agricultural land. Therefore, higher order skills are essential for achieving high performance or to get intended result. Higher order skills are learnable skills. We can develop these skills with the right learning strategies and practices such as active learning and reflective thinking, real life interactions, and deliberate practices. While on the other hand, the practices such as passive learning, rote memorization, informative knowledge, massed practice, etc., hamper or adversely impact the development of higher order skills. The learning strategies or practices such as active learning, reflective thinking, real life interaction, and deliberate practices are the best practices of learning. The best practices enable us to apply intellectual standards such as clarity, accuracy, relevancy, logic, breadth, precision, etc. in our learning and thinking process to support the development of our higher order skills. The third fundamental quality and competencies that determines high performance or excellence is depth of understanding of the real world. The depth of understanding of the real world, that is our worldview, that is based on broad horizon and profound mind. When our worldview is based on the deeper understanding of our real life experiences, then it represents our broad horizons and profound mind. Whereas superficial understanding of our real life experiences causes our narrow horizons and shallow mind or limited mind. Our worldview determines our responses or our approach to any real life events, issues, or crises, and thus determines our actions or behavior. We can understand it with iceberg model of current reality. An iceberg has 1/9 of its volume above water and the rest remain beneath the surface in the sea. Generally, we just react to the symptoms that we are facing in case of any events or crisis and ignore the deeper dimension of the problems or issue, that is without understanding the root causes of the problem, and this is due to the limited mind or shallow mind that we generally hold. The actions and behaviors based on shallow or in limited mind causes unintended and many a time counterproductive results of the problem and the issue. However, the events and crises that define our world today are the result of underlying structures, paradigm of thoughts and sources. To understand any real life experiences, we need to closely observe and consciously think and understand its root causes, that is what are the structural issues and what pattern of thinking was applied and what is the source of the problem and issue. Then only it will enable us to understand any issue or problem completely and find the solution that are reasonable and creative. The close observation and conscious thinking will broaden our horizon and develop profound mind that will result the intended result of our actions. Therefore, to intervene in any important issue or problems, government generally try to understand it deeper aspect and engage in extensive discussion to achieve the intended result of its action. A deeper understanding of real life experiences is intended to get the intended result. However, when the interventions are based on the superficial understanding and limited mind and ignore the deeper dimension of the problems, we do not get the intended result. Such as in India, the statistical data for death by road accident is frightening. It is around 1.55 lakh deaths in India in 2021 by road accidents. Beside the deaths, 3.71 lakh people were also injured in 4.03 lakh road accidents across the country in 2021. Our road safety measures are generally limited to respond the symptoms. We focus on drunken drive, seat belt issues, helmet issues, but ignore the deeper dimension of the problem such as road design and bad road conditions, vehicle fitness and safety issues, driving quality, over speeding, and strict implementations of existing rules, etc. Until unless we do not address the problem or issue in its completeness, we will not get the outcome what we desire. Similarly, in case of corruption, unemployment, and women's safety and crime, the government is not getting the intended result of its action, and these issues are still burning problem despite of so many initiatives and interventions from the government front. They require taking into consideration the deeper and the complete dimension of the problem to efficiently solve them. It means our worldview that is based on broad horizons and profound mind enable us to get the intended result of our performance. Therefore, it is the fundamental qualities and competencies, that is our positive attitudes toward our work, our higher order skills, and our worldview that is based on broad horizon and profound mind, determine our performance or excellence in any field, but not innate talent, nor hard work or smart work. And the fundamental qualities and competencies shape our intellectual identity that defines us, that who we are in terms of our capabilities, intelligence, attitudes, and beliefs that determine our actions and behaviors, and our actions and behaviors are the basis of our performance. Therefore, UPSC is improving its selection process to emphasize selecting the most suitable candidates for higher civil services who have the fundamental qualities and competencies for the role-based system of strategic human resource management according to the Government of India's ambitious and reform-minded policy initiative of transforming its civil service to meet the challenges of the 21st century and rapid economic development need. The fundamental qualities and competencies for higher civil services are right knowledge, higher order skills, and right attitudes. These are the fundamental qualities and competencies for higher civil services of the 21st century. The candidates who have these three fundamental qualities and competencies are the most suitable candidates for higher civil services. The fundamental qualities and competencies are the result of persons' learning and development over a period of time and cannot be imparted in a short period of time during training. The fundamental qualities and competencies are essential for outstanding performance of civil servant in the role in the complex and challenging environment of the 21st century because they determine the ability and dispositions of higher civil service for high performance in the 21st century. The fundamental qualities and competencies are the basis for imparting the professional skills and competencies through training. Therefore, the fundamental qualities and competencies are tested at the recruitment stage itself by UPSC to select the most suitable candidates for higher civil services. Thank you.